Again, very good afternoon to everyone present here at the moment. I see Ms. Kamini, Mr. Ravindra, Mr. Srinivas. Good afternoon. So we're just waiting for more audience to join us. Of course, we've started a little earlier than our time, so we're just going to wait until we have a decent number of audience. I also see Ms. Preksha and Mr. Venkata. Good afternoon. Once again, good afternoon to everyone. I see a few more people who have joined recently. Good afternoon. And Mr. Lakapa, you had raised your hand. I just want to know if you have any question to ask, you can put it on the chat. So just want to mention that we will start off shortly. I'm just waiting for more audience to join us. We have a decent number at the moment. Yeah. I see Miss Yamini, Miss Swarna, Sayali, Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Pratik, Pradeep, Mr. Lakappa, Miss Hiral, Miss Anjali. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope my voice is audible and clear. Quick yes or no would be great. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so just want to know, I hope all of you are aware of what the topic is for today. I do see a lot of familiar faces also who have been attending our past couple webinars. In fact, I think we might have a few audience from our last week's webinar. We had a webinar with Mr. Dr. Joseph George on organizational boundaries and its effectiveness. So a few of them from last week's webinar as well. Okay. Also, I'm guessing today we have the mass crowd from the HR end, since our topic is going to deal with HR itself. Let me know if we have any uh, audience that are from other departments, let's say IT, finance. Okay, we will start in another 2 to 3 minutes. So audience, I'd like to mention that if you have any questions as the presentation or the demo goes ahead, uh, please feel free to mention the questions. You can use the chat, which we have already used, or you can use the QA tab. I'm sure you'll be able to see the Q&A button at the bottom right on your screen. You can use that. And we will take up during the session or towards the end of the session. Mr. RK, let us know if you have anything to mention since you raised your hand. All right, we will get started. Thank you all for your patience. Once again, very good afternoon to each and everyone present here. I'd also like to thank my colleague and subject matter expert, Mr. Saurabh, for joining us on yet another webinar. So I am Siddharth, and I handle product marketing for the digital transformation lineup at Web Solutions. So today I will be your moderator. I will also run through the presentation, and followed by this, I will be handing it over to Mr. Saurabh for the demo of the solution itself. I look forward to a wonderful session with all of you. So we'll get started. So before we get into today's topic, that is the HR records challenges, let's quickly run through a quick few slides about the company that I represent, that me and Saurabh represent. As you can see, WEP, that is Web Solutions, is a 20-year-old company as of today. We were initially known as Wipro e-Peripherals. In fact, we were part of Wipro itself. And in 2000, we separated and became an independent entity. So we have actually grown from what we were actually doing initially. Today, we have multiple solutions through evolution. I will explain that in the forthcoming slides. Audience, I hope my voice is audible. A quick confirmation will be great. Yes or no. I know I asked earlier, but okay, thank you. All right, so on the slide that you see, these are the three solutions, main solutions that we offer. Managed print services, this is in fact our signature solution. We have digital transformation solutions. Under that, we have two offerings. And lastly, intelligent office automation solutions. Please note that aside this, we also have solutions for retail sector. We have billing printers for retail solutions. We tend to departmental stores, Kirana stores across the country. We have close to 2.5 lakh customers pan India. So let's move to the next slide where you can see a quick few pointers about the solutions that we have on offer. Managed print services, serial number one. Here we actually provide printing services for close to 500 plus customers. Now the business here is such that we deal with printing hardware based on customer requirement, and the charge would be per print. Aside this, we also handled complete end-to-end asset management, wherein we displace the printers and other hardware that the customer requires, and everything else will be taken care of, right from installation, support, service, everything. I'd also like to mention that We are in fact number one in India on that part. We are called India's number one MPS company. Let's move to serial number 2. We offer the latest range of intelligent office automation solutions. Web is the authorized distributor alongside Ricoh Japan to sell Ricoh products in the country. So we have a wide range of multifunction printers on offer. We also undertake complete sales and support on that end. Let's move to serial number 3 and 4, that is DMS and GST, the digital transformation lineup. Serial number 3, that is GST. I'm sure all of you have heard of the term GST. We in fact have an all-in-one GST solution which will take care of filing reconciliation. We have data preparation and 100 different methods of validation built onto the system. Aside this, we have separate modules for e-way bill, e-invoicing automation, and we undertake most ERP integrations right from SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, and we also take up your API integrations as well. So this is what we do with the GST end. Let's move on to DMS, which we will talk a little more in depth today as the session progresses. Now, the DMS is actually a workflow automation solution, which is also hosting a document repository on the solution itself. We also have low-code capabilities built onto the platform. So with this as a concept, we are able to build certain process automations for customers, or you have already existing solutions, processes that is there in most of the organizations that is automated. So let's move to the next slide where I can show you a few examples and you will be able to understand a little more in depth. As you can see, employee records management, we have process automation with our workflow, with our powerful workflows, which is already built. This is what we will explain a little more in depth today. We also have automation ready for procure to pay. These are used cases. Management of change. Here we actually provide the solution for pharma, chemical, manufacturing industries in the country. So this is what we do with our solutions end. A quick view of our customers. All right, so we will move forward without any further ado. So that was the introductory end for our company and the solutions that we offer. Now I'd like to take a quick 1 minute over here. Let me just launch a poll for all of you. Now please note that yes, we will have a demo of our solution as well towards the end of the session. Let me just launch a quick poll for all of you. And please note that we will not be able to show the entire demo of the platform today since we have time restraints. So let me keep this poll on for the next 1 minute. I'd like to know if any of you would be interested to see a free demo, a complete demo of our HR solution, which will also cover other modules of the DMS solution that I just spoke about. So please note today we will only talk about HR that we have on offer. The demo will also focus on the same. So based on your convenience, we will be able to fix a demo as per your convenience. Also to mention, this is a free demo. Okay, let me close the poll in another 10 seconds. All right, that should be good. Thank you all for your inputs. All right, let us move forward. So this is the webinar agenda for today, the same that you would have seen in your mailer as well. All right, so let's move forward. So before I actually move forward, of course, I want the session to be a little interactive today rather than me just talking. So let me know what are the challenges that you face as a HR with employee records management as the core topic here. I'm sure HRs face a lot more challenges in terms of payroll management, right? Leave, attendance. There are so many things that HRs go through. But today I would like to talk about employee records management, and also to consider, we will also include candidate onboarding, the recruitment process itself today. So you can use the chat to quickly let me know a few challenges that each and every one of you are facing as a HR. And based on that, we will proceed. So let me start off one. In fact, I think uh, I think one of it, which is really difficult, is searching different records is actually a challenge. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally think searching for records, searching based on specific parameters, attributes, is a really challenging task for a lot of HRs. Okay, not seeing any inputs at the moment. Okay, Mr. Navpreet says joining formalities forms. Okay, all right. Sir, do you mean onboarding forms? I believe you're mentioning onboarding forms, right? Okay, great. Yes, onboarding forms is definitely a challenge. Okay, what else? Anyone else? So search and retrieval, onboarding forms. Okay, anything else? Keeping track of appraisals. Okay, all right. Okay. So keeping track of appraisals, I believe notifications, on-time reminders is also a challenge that you're facing, Mr. Shivan Sunil. Mr. Navpreet also has mentioned including statutory document which are mandatory to fill and keep in record by each employer. Okay, all right. Compliance related forms, PF and ESIC. All right, okay. Employees data in one Excel sheet. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, interesting. Anything else? Okay, Hiral, keeping track of all documents to be recorded by employees. Okay, we have one in the Q&A as well. Maintaining checklist by hard copies. Okay, so I do understand that we are all moving into a more digital space today, where everything and anything is stored on the cloud, right? In fact, we are moving away from the whole paper concept. We are moving paperless direction. In fact, these days. So everything is going the digital way. So that means you would ideally also be looking at uh, storing employee records in the digital format, right? Which is why these days we have onboarding forms instead of having to be offline, or instead of having to be on paper, we are in fact providing online forms, right? So all this is moving the digital direction. So all right, thank you all for the input so far. This is great. Let's move to the next slide where we see a few core common challenges that we actually have identified. Of course, there are more challenges I will mention. First off, as you see, tracking employee documents. So Hiral had actually mentioned, right? Tracking employee documents is definitely a challenge received by employees. That is 100% a challenge. You do not know where it is going and sitting, right? You would want a common repository for this to go and sit. So this is definitely one challenge. And connected to this is obviously search and retrieval of employee documents. Now you have actually stored the document somewhere, stored a bunch of documents related to an employee, but you don't know how do you actually search and retrieve that. So you would ideally want a specific feature which will enable you to search by various parameters. Let us talk these various parameters in the next slide. I will mention that. Concerns on possible data breach. Of course, security is 100% a necessity these days, right? Though you're storing it on the cloud, you would want to look at some sort of data encryption. So that is one challenge. And securely sharing employee data with auditors, BGV team. I will just abbreviate what is BGV, that is background verification team. I'm sure the HRs here would agree today that you will also have a BGV team that might be working along with you guys, right? So you would want to share that data on a secure level. So that is definitely also a concern that you're looking at. So aside this, we have other challenges like, for example, say your hierarchical approvals. You might have multiple HR guys in your team, right? And finally, your HR head, the person you're reporting to, might have to ultimately approve it. So there are various people in your system who has to approve a specific employee, that is the employee being onboarded. So this is also a challenge. And aside this, you might also have certain other requirements such as dashboards, right? You might want reports. You might want to see how many employee records do you have based on a specific parameter, such as location, or you might have records that is stored based on departments. So all these are some of the common challenges that we have identified. Would anyone else like to mention any other challenges that HR guys are facing? And yes, Mr. Naprit, as he mentioned, joining formality forms. I will actually talk about this as the session proceeds. Our solution actually covers this as well. Okay. So with me, as I mentioned, I also have my colleague and subject matter expert, Mr. Saurabh, who will also be there in the session. So Saurabh, would you like to add something over here if you would like?
Thank you, Siddharth, for the introduction. So first of all, these are the major challenges which I also see in the today's scenario. So in terms of tracking of employee documents, that is I can say it is one of the major challenges which is faced by the HR. So we can say a tracking of physical data or any physical data which they have stored. So it is not easy to handle these manual documents by the HR. So by you can say the digital document, now they have to upload this document into the digital format. For that we have given like a separate dashboard for tracking of employee documents. So now suppose if any new joinee has joined the company, like suppose he has not having a degree certificate. Okay. So in that dashboard, one notification will be go directly to the HR and the candidate who will be joining. So this can impact and I can say this can improve the trackability of employee documents to the HR as well as the employee who will be joining. So I will also add on this searching and retrieval of the
Yes.
employer documents. This is also one of the major challenges. By like if any documents which you are storing into the platform, it is difficult to retrieve and search that document. But there are certain techniques which are uh, used to search these documents by using the metadata or by using the index file name. You can search the documents in a single, you can say in a 5 to 10 seconds. So that can also reduce your manual work and monotonous task. So I have also from my side said that this is enough for the HR challenges. If anyone wants to discuss like any more points which are they facing or challenging challenges for HR in the today's scenario.
Yes, yes. So thanks, Saurabh. Thanks for the inputs. So as Saurabh mentioned, anything else that you find, please mention it on the chat. We will go through it and discuss it as the session proceeds. If you're using Google Drive, it might not be hard to search employee documents. All right, okay. So Hiral has mentioned that if you're using Google Drive, it might not be hard. Fair enough. So as we proceed, let me also tell you what are the various search options that we have.
Correct.
So this is definitely a good point. I agree. Of course, there are solutions which are offering pretty much easy, like based on filters you can search, right? So I will show you what are the different types
Yeah,
of search that
but
we have.
what so that this question
Okay.
this the Google Drive is basically mainly for storing your document. It is there is no option there's no specific folder or anything which be stored by the like in a hierarchy you can say.
Correct, correct,
There
correct,
is no
correct.
automation is there in the Google Drive.
Agreed. 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 So, Mr. Hiral, let me explain as we proceed. In fact, when Saurabh shows the demo, you will get a better idea on how exactly we might be more significant in comparison to Google Drive. So let's
Correct.
move on with the session.
Yes.
So here's how we solve some of the challenges for you. As I mentioned, in comparison to the previous slide, these are some of the points that are taken. As Saurabh had mentioned, we have a comprehensive dashboard which will cover most of the necessities that you as a team or your management will need, in fact. So here you get a comprehensive view of how many employee records you have, how many have been approved, okay? And also you might have the option of viewing if some specific employee has not shared a specific file. This can also be provided based on requirement. So our dashboard, when it comes out from a vanilla product, it might not be very comprehensive. You might have some of the most basic details that you want as a team, but based on companies or let's say a team's requirement, that can be modified. Let's look at point number 2, that is concerns on securely sharing employee documents. I'd also mentioned, right, background verification team, auditors, how do you share it to them? So we have a dedicated partner space built onto the solution where this space is solely dedicated to your team, that is your organization, your HR guys, your department, who will be able to coordinate, communicate with your external vendors, for example, your background verification team. So this is all done through the platform. So please note that they do not need a login ID or user ID, nothing as such. They will still be able to go through your platform. That is our web DMS. Let's look at point number 3, quick search and retrieval. So this is where I was, Saurabh and me were talking a little earlier, right? Advanced search. We have multiple methods of search, in fact, which I'll explain a little later. We have multiple search techniques itself, not just your word-based search, your content-based search. We have, in fact, 4 different ways of searching. One is your file name, your folder name search, which you will be able to do on Google Drive or any other cloud-based solutions where you store your data. We also have content-based search. For example, if your document is OCR enabled, like a PDF or doc file, Excel, what you will be able to do here is if you remember a specific content from the document or a specific record, you will be able to search the specific file based on that. Let's say in this scenario, you might have forgotten the file name or the folder name. You will be able to simply search it through the specific content that lies in the document. So this is our third way of search. And we also have something more advanced, that is metadata search. So you might actually build in various attributes, various parameters to a file. For example, one such parameter could be location, right? You have multiple employees, and let's take 10 employees. 5 employees might come from somewhere in the north, let's say Delhi, okay? And we have 5 other employees who might come from south, but you have different areas here. You have different locations here. One person comes from Kerala, the other person comes from Karnataka. We have 2 people from Tamil Nadu and one from Andhra. So how do we search this? So we have a metadata that helps you search based on location. So this is a specific metadata attribute. Like this, you can define multiple attributes based on your requirement, based on your team's requirement. And finally, automation. Let's face it, we all live in the automation world these days. Everything is automated, right? You would want to automate some of the most tiniest processes. So why not automate this in 2022? So let's look at automation. In fact, we will take up a used case which Mr. Navpreet had mentioned, right? Joining formalities forms, onboarding forms. We will take up that itself today, in fact, and show you how exactly our process automation works within the system, making things a little more simpler for you. So let's move to the next slide. All right. So let me just quickly check up with all of you if you have any doubts, any questions at the moment. Okay, nothing as of now. Let me consider that as a no. Okay, all right. Fine. So this slide, we would like to mention a few things in terms of security. I'd like to mention that our solution is AES 256 bits encrypted. Also, in terms of further added security, you can actually provide user access, user restrictions. Let's say you have a team that comprises of five to six HR personnel, right? HR professionals, and you might have a hierarchy over there. You might have two people on the executive level, two from the middle management level, and two from the senior management level. So you might have certain files, certain records that your executive guys should not see. You will be able to actually enable folder level security here, folder level access. That means a specific individual, a specific user will not be able to access that specific folder, which the middle management and senior management has decided on. Please note that this is completely customizable. So I'm just giving you an example that we offer folder level security as well. And we also have an electronic vault for each and every user where you can actually store some of the most confidential data that only you would like to view. None of your other professionals, other colleagues should be able to see it, or anyone else in the organization. And this is protected by a password, in fact. But you might also ask if I will be able to share this. Yes, absolutely. You will be able to share this securely within the solution through our copy paste link option. So this can also be done. So Saurabh, would you like to add something here?
No, Siddharth, you have already explained each and every point.
Okay, all right. So let me move to the next slide. So this slide talks about our document repository module. As I had mentioned, our solution is mainly built out of two concepts. One is the document repository itself, and secondly, we have workflow automation. So this solution, let me mention that we offer two options. That is, one is you can either store it on the cloud, or if your company requires a specific on-premise solution itself, that can also be provided. We in fact have customers who have our solution set up on-premise itself. So here you will be able to build folders. You can automate folders. You also have a partner space, which I mentioned, where you can work with external stakeholders. And this partner space will enable you to actually review. You can track various activities, various status of, let's say, something you are currently proceeding with. All that can be tracked. Ms. Dinkle Kapoor, I believe you raised your hand. If you have a question, please put it on the chat. Okay. So this folder automation that I'm talking about, please note that let's say you have employee records management itself as a current challenge. How do you track? Our solution will be able to automatically create folders based on employee ID. Now, this is, let's say, one of the most primary attributes, right? You want to know your employee based on their employee IDs. So that is automatically created. But what if I want to find more attributes? For example, location, as I mentioned, right? Location, department, and date of joining, date of birth, the month of birth. All these are specific attributes which will enable you to actually exactly precisely find a specific employee. So all this is part of our document repository itself. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the automation end. We in fact have a workflow designer that is built onto our solution itself. In fact, let me see if Saurabh can show you a quick preview of that as the session proceeds. We have a very simple and easy to use workflow designer where you will be able to simply drag and drop various modules. For example, start the workflow, stop the workflow, and you have a specific point where you need to create an approval option for various executives. That can also be done simply with the help of a drag and drop concept. So this is our approach. Our workflow system is actually all the more simple to use. and you will be able to build from some of the most simple to complex workflows, in fact. So over here, we also have a drag and drop form creator where you'll be able to create a simple onboarding form. This is where I would like to press on the part. So our solution also offers fully customizable onboarding forms based on the company's requirement. So here's a quick onboarding process flow, a rather simple one, nothing complex over here. So based on this, our demo will proceed right after this slide. You have the offer letter. Now the candidate will respond with a yes or no, followed by which it might go through HR review. Now what is HR review? The HRs. Now there might be a hierarchy over here also. You might have 5, 6 people or more than that, where there might be a first level filtration if the candidate has already provided all the details, right, from government documents such as Aadhaar card, PAN card, and their degree certificates. If all of this is already there, then it might be approved and it will follow on to another HR, middle level management, followed by which it might go to the senior level management for final approval. And after that, it goes and stores in the solution, that is our document repository, and it creates a folder with the following attributes. Now, what if it's not approved? It might just go back to the candidate. So all this is part of our workflow process itself. Now I will proceed with the demo after this. So once again, thank you all for being patient with me. Do you have any questions at the moment? Any questions? Anything to be addressed? We can take it up quickly because right after this we have our demo. Okay, so in the meantime, let me just launch a quick poll for all of you. I actually did not launch this earlier as we were proceeding. What ERM challenge are you currently facing as a HR? Hope all of you are seeing this on your screen. Okay, so Ms. Preksha has mentioned how would HR review work in automation? So it's rather simple. So let's say we are taking the whole onboarding itself as a concept. As I mentioned, there might be certain documents that are missing, right? Certain documents. The PAN card is missing, and it was actually a mandatory field. If that is missing, you have a comprehensive view where all these, as I mentioned, we create fields, right? Form fields in the onboarding form. So let's say something is missing, it'll in fact show you in red that not uh, this is not filled up. In fact, so this is not satisfied. That means you already have a red mark there where you cannot proceed further with the approval part. So our solution will in fact show you which is not approved, and it will give you a notification where it does not work. So that specific step is held on to. So you will not be able to proceed further, and whether to decline or reject or react to it is given to the user. So as I mentioned, you have different levels of approval. The first level, the person will be able to either approve or reject based on the fields that are satisfied or not. Okay. So let me just share the results quickly, and most of them are saying tracking employee records. Okay. So Saurabh, if you've noticed this, let's see if you can actually show a little on this tracking employee records part itself today as you progress with the demo.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So looks like we have Saurabh, just 1 minute. Looks like we have most of them were facing challenge in tracking employee records. All right. Okay. So let me just launch another poll quickly before I hand it over to Saurabh. I'd also like to mention, are you currently looking for a HRERM solution? Are you exploring? As I mentioned, we will be able to reach out for a free demo of our solution. Okay. All right, let me end the poll. Thank you for your inputs. Saurabh, over to you.
Siddharth, can you give me
Yeah,
the
yeah.
like
Let
share
me.
screen?
Sure, sure. Understood. Let me just.
Please enable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just 1 minute. Saurabh, just see if you're able to do it now. I've given you permissions.
Yeah. So, joinees and HRs who has joined for this webinar. So this is what I will show you is the demo, how the platform works and how we have taken the challenges of HR which we have put into a platform. So I will mainly discuss on these points also in on the demo part. So you can see once you get the login credential details, you can sign into the platform. And first you will see the multiple tiles over here. So you can see each tiles has its own different name and has its own functionality. So I will cover a little bit about these tiles into this introduction. Then I will go to the most important, which is the workflow. And then I will show you one of like a prototype which we have built for tracking of employee documents. I will show that also. So first of all, my messages is it's like any notifications or any upgradation into the platform key will become under the my section. And second is your my files is your personal repository. Suppose if you want to store any documents and if you want to share any documents within the company, outside the company, so we can you can just share the document within by this my file section, and you can also store your personal repository. Like suppose you want to create any folder, you will create the folder name as said. You can say HR folder. You can say, so I can save this folder, and if I want to upload any documents within my PC or with the metadata files with the metadata or any file. So I have to choose the file and upload the file basically from this only. So I have been upload one. This you can see I have uploaded one of the document over here. So this is how you can upload your personal uh, data into this platform. You can create the folder section as well. It is like very similar to the, you can say it is very similar to the Windows. It is not such as complex as any ERP tool or any HRMS tool. It is easy to understand, and it is easy to use as a technology adoption. You can say it is easily technology adoption user interface. Then now coming to the sharing of any documents within the company or outside the company, we have looked into the multiple certain points which you have to which we have taken. So you can see the link accessed by, suppose one link will be automatically come for that particular document which you want to share. So you can set you can directly copy that link, or you can give the link access by public. So there are two options. So public means outside the company, this link will be shared, and within the company, this option will be there. So selecting by public, you can share the documents outside the company. Now, second, we have the version controlling. Now, suppose any latest version or the shared version you want to share the document, it is based on that. Now, coming to the annotation. Annotation is important while you want to share the documents. If you want to give any option to the link to the person whom you are sharing, so you can give the option as edit, you can give the option as view of the document, or you can hide the document when you want to share that. So now apart from this sharing settings, we have the download document section as well. Now if you want to share this link, you can give the link download which is for the unlimited times, or you can give the single download as well. So if any one person who wants to download this file only for the single time, you can give that option, or you can give the unlimited access one. Now, looking over this download section, we have also taken the part for the link expire. You can see now if you are sharing this link, the link will be expired within a day, or after a week, after a month, after a year, on a selected date which you want. Apart from this, there's one other option. If you want to share this link with this platform only. So you have to give the recipient name under this section. I can say webdms at the rate. This is Gmail comes. That means outside the company. You can add this recipient and you can give the message. So while sending this mail, it will directly go to the public mail, and it will directly he can open the one-time link, and for that link he has to not open and log in and give the login credential details. Only one-time link will be here, and by opening that link he can view the document and download the document as well. So this is how you can share your documents within the company. So I have shared one of the document to that this only. So I will show you how this document will be viewed when the document is shared. So you can see one old file has been shared. You can see timing as well, 13 June, and the link expiration date as well. So I've given the today date only. So by opening this link, you can view the document. It can also show from which user has given this file according with the username as well. You can see enterprise sales now, which is the file, and the file which we have viewed is that which you have which I have shared. You can open that particular link, and it will you can also download that link according to it. Now coming to the next style, which we have the department. Department is nothing but if anyone from the like suppose I'm from the sales department, so I can have the access for viewing the documents under this department only. So there you can we can create the multiple department sections over here, like any HR department or finance department or any admin departments, IT departments. So we can create according to the usage of this. So according to when we create the department, we have the separate dashboard for them, like how many members who are using this enterprise sales department and how many members are there, the group count, file count, and you can also this is also one of the good feature. You can track each and every activities when you are sharing this file. So you can see the recent activities is also there. Like you can say the Prashant Kolu has file is added any file, somebody has file has viewed, somebody has downloaded the file, folder permission is viewed. So you can see each and every activity will be maintained, and you can you can see the all overall activity by this particular department. So this is for the department section. So for the different departments, we can create the different departments. Now coming to the project section. So project section is when any documents is directly stored under the automation or any uh, folders which we have created under the workflow automation, it will directly store under this platform. It's under this project section. So a specific folder will be given. So a specific folder, whatever the document will be given under the workflow automation will be stored under this section. I can show you when I will show you the demo of candidate joining. So next is the partner space. So partner space, as told by in the presentation part also. So it is if you want to collaborate with your external or internal stakeholders, for that we have given the partner space. So partner space, we can create more partners any other partner space apart from background verification team, we have vendor or your vendor as well, your auditors team, any other part, any other partner space we can create. We can have that section in this partner space. So we can say a file which is being shared under this section, we have the full control of that with Bangalore team, employee, and you can say so you can share the documents with your background verification team. Now, apart from this, you can see our dashboard is also there for tracking each and every activity, like the documents which you shared with the background verification team. If you want to have the activity, you can see the activity which what background verification team is working and how they are looking for the documents which is shared by that by the employee. So you can track each and every activity under this section. So this is for the partner space. Now share space is nothing when you want to share the documents within the company who will be using this platform. Now if I create the folder and if I upload the folder and I will share the folder, so it will, this folder will automatically go with all the person who will be using this platform. So in within the company, in my company, this platform is using by 126 members, and this group count is there. Total file counts, last access date. So each and every file which you want to share within the company level itself is for that share space. Calendar and reminders is for any reminder or any active workflow which has been tasked by pending. It will for this only. Reminders as well, the same, any due task or any pending task, it will show, it will create a one notification will be there. This notification will go to the my message section if it is delayed from under the reminders. So one of the workflow which we have created is for candidate onboarding, which we have which many of the, you can say, many of the uh, joinees have asked, like create the folder, how to track these documents. So you can say by using this workflow automation, we have created one workflow. You can see, I will show you how basically it will work. So first, the HR has to give the name of the person who will be joining. So you can say, I can say the journey is as in, you can say Akash, I can give Akash. So by giving the name of the Akash Singh and given the mail of the person, you can say, I will say. So this is the mail which is a public mail, gmail.com. And offer letter is also, which now offer letter has to attach by the HR. So you can see I have to HR has to attach the offer letter which he or she has to share with the candidate who will be joining. So once by clicking the submit, or you can also give as an urgent mail, or you can disattach that. So you can by clicking the submit, the request has been created successfully for that candidate. One, you can say, by clicking it, one forum will be go for the employee who will be joining. So he has to fill those details which is asked by the HR, and once he will fill these details, it will directly come to the platform itself. So I can show you this file. So you can see time as well. The workflow has been candidate onboarding, which is the workflow name. So by clicking this link, you can see the task due date as well. Okay. And by opening this link, so while opening this, you can see I have given the name as an Akash Singh and the email letter, and I have attached one document which is for the offer letter. So he can, the candidate who will be joining can view the file, or he can directly download the file as well. So once he has downloaded that offer letter, by watching that offer letter, he have to fill those details which is asked by the HR. So this is basically a prototype and understanding how we can take this process for further growth. So you can say you have to do the, give the Aadhaar name, like Aadhaar, you can say Aadhaar 10110, PAN 110. Now you can see the checklist for the documents, any requested documents. You can see the Aadhaar is asked by the HR, PAN, degree, previous employer documents, and photo. So now I have to I have to give this document which is requested by the HR. So first is Aadhaar card, then degree certificate, marks card, and PAN card, photo, and any other document which you want to include, like your certificates under the many of the person who do multiple activities. They can add those document as well. So you can see I have I've attached multiple documents into a single go. So you can check this checklist the documents. I have Aadhaar I've given, PAN I've given, degree certificate I've given, previous employer document I've given, and all the things which is there asked by the HR we have given. Now I will complete the task. So once the task is being completed by the candidate, you can say will be the documents which they have shared comes under the task section. And earlier we are in workflow. Now we will come under the task section. So task section. Once that once the candidate has given all the details, now HR has to review the third part. Now the HR has to review those documents and give the details as well, which to be thereby shared by the HR. So you can see the name of the candidate, the email, and the what and whatever documents which they have shared comes under this section. You can see offer letter, requested document with the file name, Aadhaar card, degree certificate, marks card, PAN card, photo. Each and everything will be you can say will be have a document section. Now third is the history section. So this was the also which we have notified, which we have tell under the presentation is for audit trail activity. Now you can see from where the task has been pending. So you can see the pre-sales 3 has been have not approved the task here from this side only. He has to approve the task and go for the initiation section. So who has initiated it, who has used a task, who has completed the task, any each and every hierarchy will be maintained under this section. Now this is also one of the thing which we have discussed in the presentation is for the workflow automation, the drag and drop option. So you can see the start is for starting of the you can say starting of this workflow automation. The user has to create the task. Now green means that the task has been completed. Now the approved task for the HR. Now HR has to approve the task. So it will have a one unique task number, a one created folder section that will copy that file task name and update the metadata task, and a folder task will be created for that particular location. And automatically for that employee ID, it will create one folder and move all the file under the single under this candidate onboarding journey and end of this workflow. So this is how the workflow automation work. I explained that also. So now coming to the HR review, what HR has to give when the candidate gives all the documents which is being asked by the HR. So now HR has to give this employee number of that person who will be joining. So I will giving as an employee as in 27,000, and you can and HR will give the location as well. So by selecting this location, Kolkata, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, there are multiple options. We can change it according to the requirement. So by giving this document checklist for documents, will approve the task. Now once HR will approve the task, you must be thinking that where all are these documents moved. Now you can see it is now being removed from the task section. So I told you in the previous, like you can say the project section, whatever you do in the workflow will have one created folder in the project section. So each and every document will move in that particular folder with the new folder which we have given for the employee. So you can see the employee records. I have given the location for Delhi. So you can see a folder which I have given as an employee name of employee to 27,000. You can see. So all a particular folder for that employee is given. Okay. For I have given the employee as an EMP to 27,000. Whatever the documents which is shared under that employee will be come under this section automatically. So this is how the automation will be taking care of your documents. You don't have to store the documents for that particular name or thing. A particular folder will be automatically stored all the documents under that employee ID only. So this is one of the automation you can say This is how the automation will be taken care of. Now coming to the, you can say, I will also show which we have, which is also one of the major challenges faced by the HR is searching and retrieval of the document. So by searching or retrieval of document, you can share that we can view that particular file by using that person employee employee ID only. So you can see EMP 27,000, which I have created just now for that particular person. So by searching it documents, so you can see you can search it with all the contents, the file name, the file content, or you can search it according to the any word, exact phrase, or any meta class. 7,000, 700. If I go to the pivot section, I don't know why it is not viewing that file. The other document I will show. I don't know why it is not showing the exact folder which is being shared. Employee 2100. Search. So by searching and retrieval, you can see I have searched for the employee of 2100. So by searching, you can by clicking this link, you can directly move to that particular folder where the file has been shared. So this is how the workflow automation will be taking and how you can search the documents, major challenges. And now I will also show you one of the major thing is, let's say, so this is one of the we can say we have created a prototype dashboard for tracking of the documents under the section. So by giving the employee ID, like suppose any ID of that particular person, you want to search the documents and you have to track these documents for that employee ID. So you can track it under the whole, you can track each and every document. And by clicking the view, you can see with the employee ID, the name of the person, the designation of that person, the joining letter, the grades, the location, and vertical, any status. Now appointment letters, you can see the 5 appointment letters means that any appraisal, anything will be changed and the section will become background verification report, closed, employee movements are there, like where from which location they have changed, like numbers will be seen, joining documents are there, letters are there, other photograph, recruitment document, separation, service contract, bonding letters, and the total number of letters which are there in the under this for that particular person and the employee with the employee ID. You can track the document as well. So this is one of the challenges which we have also looked, that is for tracking of employee documents. So this is one of the things which we have created. This is just only a prototype we can show, but rest of all it is will be a very same as well. So Siddharth, I have covered like I've covered each and everything for which is required.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Saurabh, for the short and quick demo. Um, Audience, that is on the demo end. Do you have any questions on the demo? So Saurabh, anyway, you can stop sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. So audience, any questions on the demo end?
Hmm. So any questions will be there, which we have to answer is how could HR review work in automation? So
Yeah. So I think I'd answered that, but okay, you can proceed. Also, we have a Flipkart case study, a quick gist of what we've done there. Flipkart is one of our biggest customers. So as you can see, Flipkart, in fact, even these guys had search as a major concern. They were not able to search, they were not able to retrieve what they wanted. And a company like Flipkart, please note that they in fact had multiple HRMS solutions within their departments. So it's not just one, or it's not only our solution that is deployed. They had multiple solutions, and they wanted our solution to be integrated with their existing solutions. So we had actually deployed our workflow automation based on their requirement. And our document repository obviously offers advanced search techniques, as Saurabh had showed, through metadata, file-based, OCR-enabled content search. All of this was facilitated for the company. And as I had mentioned, our solution will be able to create folders immediately based on employee ID and other attributes. So that was also enabled, hence making their job a lot more easier. This would directly create a destination folder based on defined attributes, employee ID, location, uh, uh, department, date of joining, all of that. So ultimately, we were able to reduce their search and retrieval process to less than 2 seconds for a specific employee that they're looking for. So this is what we were able to deploy at Flipkart. So that's it on the case study end. Let's quickly look at a few questions if we have here. So audience, I hope we were able to give you a rather insightful presentation and a quick demo as well. Thank you, Saurabh, for the demo.
thank you, Siddharth.
Yeah. So audience, do you have any questions? Please put it on the Q&A, or you can also mention it on the chat. So Ms. Divya had mentioned earlier, maintaining checklist by hard copies.
Where?
No, she had already mentioned on Q&A when we were talking the challenges. That time she had mentioned, I think she just wanted to mention a specific challenge as we were mentioning. So hard copies, okay, looks like they are dealing with hard copies. So I'd like to mention that we also offer digitization of your legacy documents. That is also taken care by us. Okay, audience, any questions based on the solution? Anything else that you would like to ask us? Saurabh, let's give them like 2 to 3 minutes time. That's okay with you.
Okay, so by 2 3 minutes, I want to say to the audience, like
Sure.
you can take the requirements which is required by your end. We can work on that, and we can create the same customized application which you require. So we can take the requirements. Once we take the requirement, we will build any POC, like how basically this platform is capable of by taking your requirements, and it will be fulfilled when the POC is completed. That means your requirement as per the customization will be done under WebT. So this is we can do also. We can also build any custom based application as well. And apart from HRMS tool, we have multiple domains as well. We have also a P2P automation is also there. And like we can take the requirements like for the finance department or any requirements which is required by IT departments or any will be like we can take all the requirements and we can fulfill those requirement as well in our application. So any questions regarding this, you can ask me.
So, as Saurabh mentioned, see, today what we showed is just a use case scenario, that is employee records management. Of course, employee records management is present everywhere these days, but we built this based on a specific requirement. So, as Saurabh mentioned, we will be able to undertake any of your specific custom requirements as well. So, what we will be able to do is build a proof of concept and show you, so that you get an idea of how our solution works based on your requirement. That can be done. And on that note, we will reach out to the people who have shown interest through our polls in the next about a week. So the ones who have shown interest, yes, we will reach out to them. Okay. Sort of looks like we do not have any questions. So I think we will end the session with that, if that's okay with you.
Yes, okay.
Okay. All right. So once again, thank you all, dear audience, for taking time out midweek, that too. And we will reach out to you shortly, the ones who've shown interest. You will also receive a post-webinar mailer with the recording. And if you have any queries, if you'd like us to show you a demo later, for the ones who've not shown interest, please feel free to mail us back on the same mail ID, and we will be able to reach out to you. So on that note, thank you all. Also, please take time about a minute to fill up a quick survey form right after the webinar. You will be redirected to your browser for the same survey form. Your inputs will help us to improve our webinars in the coming months. And I look forward to seeing you all in our upcoming webinars as well. Thank you all. Thank you, Saurabh, for your time,
Yeah,
and
thank
have a
you.
good evening.
Thank you, Siddharth, and thank you everyone who has joined for this webinar.
Thank you all.
Thank you.